our problem right now is we have what's perceived as a broken cable feeding this door. So if you're inside and you're trying to get out, you can see this, nothing happens. Okay, so yeah, your first instinct is you check your child lock setup. That's already been checked. It's not the child lock position. So what happens with these is they lose connection here. They have two little tiny pieces of plastic that hold the cable still, while the cable casing still, while the cable is hooked in with metal. If your actual casing part of the cable breaks free, then this doesn't do anything. The whole casing moves with it. So that's one problem these have. It might also have an actuator problem inside the door lock actuator assembly. I bought one anyway, just in case, because I can return it. But you never know. You have to get these off to change it anyway. You have to get, because that cable slides in where that green slot is. I can hold this still. This will work better in the sun. That cable comes in here to the actuator and grabs that hole right there. So maybe there's something wrong with this one also. I'm not sure. I mean, it does actuate. When I put the key in, it does raise the door lock. You know, I guess indicator, you'd call it, up and down. Okay, sometimes it was finicky before, but it is going up and down. Come on. There we go, if I hit it right. So it is going up and down okay. But it was showing signs of being finicky before. Maybe it was just rubbing on the side of it. So let's go ahead and take this panel off. And I'll try to set the camera up. If it gets too windy out here, there's a little breeze. Maybe I'll reposition the car. It's winter, a little chilly, but the sun's out, so it's not too bad. So yeah, let's get started. I forgot to mention that, of course, this is our first main suspect of what's going on here. This is the cable. This is a 2005 Passat Wagon V5. I don't think engine really matters, but it's got the 2.8 V6. So you see these real small pieces of plastic there. There's two fangs right there, and those fangs break. That's what I was telling you about. If they break, then the whole casing moves back and forth, and then this is not doing anything. Can't pull it. Needs to be sitting still on that so the cable can do its job. So yeah, it's a shame. We're gonna have to probably disconnect the glass and tape it up. Let's take this panel off and find out. The first part you have to do is take off this cover on the handle. So let's get a little screwdriver. These sometimes don't cooperate. I'm gonna try to keep my head out of the way for you. And oh, that's nice. I'm in the sun. There, maybe that's better. There. There's a little notch in here, right in this area, and these crack. It's old plastic, but if you can get this screwdriver right here working, these release. Oh, there's like 3 of them in here, and it releases straight out. So let's see if that's enough for this to help it. It may break. There's no guarantees. You don't want to overstress one side, you know, just kind of work it. It's got a lot of pressure on it. Wish they had done a little simpler way of connecting this, and it made better sense. That didn't sound good. So looks like everything's still here. Might be some, I don't know, it just didn't feel good as it came off, but well, we will see when we put it back. So now we go to the bottom. So on this back door is just one T25 on the bottom. It's not tight. Not really supposed to be bad. Pull that off. Save it in a little parts bin or something, and then we start working this panel off. This gives you a little bit of room, and you can put, just trying to stay out of your way, you put your panel piece in here, work it around. Sometimes it's harder, depends on how many times you've had it off. Try not to break anything, just kind of be gentle, work your way around. Oh wait, let me back up. I got 2 screws in here. Before you pry on that, you have two Phillips here and here. Here it is. Take this out. It'll come out with the door if the screw is kind of stuck in there. It's a machine screw. Yep. Got the planes practicing above me, turning their engines on and off. It's a real nice comforting feeling hearing that. Whoop, there goes the screwdriver. Pass it out. And work it around. Something feels like it's grabbing. I don't know if it's this. Maybe that's not all the way out yet. There we go. There we go. Nice and loose. Okay. So now when you get it like this, you're up top, you just go straight up. And you get it out of this section here. Sometimes you start from the side. Just kind of work it out of that seal. Now, don't let this go. You got a lot of stuff connected to it. Yep. Our hunch is right. We have a broken fang right there. That was on that release. Came right off the handle, wasn't really connected. So now you're disconnecting some electrical items. Maybe I can raise this up, give you a view, see if this helps. Turn the door over here. So you go over here and you're just connecting your electrical pieces off of the speaker. I think this is the speaker. I might have to stare at that as I'm reaching pretty far away. I'll have to squeeze it better. It's not cooperating. And then down below you have a light. And the light, I know a lot of people show this in different videos. Let me see if I can give you a view of this light. One trick with this light, because it's really hard to get this plug out, and don't pull too hard on it, is you get this cover off. I think it can squeeze. Yeah, it squeezes. So you pull the cover off. You see you're looking at raw bulb. Careful, it's hot. You push down, and then you turn it, and you bring it up. So now that's out. Okay. So now we're over here on the speaker. And the speaker, the camera can see that or not. I'm trying to grab something decent with the handle on the front and squeeze both sides of this bottom. Are they hanging down below it? Yeah, okay. So the pulls look look like they're below that bottom tab. Yeah, so I was grabbing above. It looks like the releases. That's not well done, is it? Got it, finally. Okay, that's finally out. All right, so what we're looking at. So, we're looking at, there's our broken fang on our cable. Goes through, heads in here to the actuator. This is the version that does not have a trap door here. Thank you very much. So that means, if it did, we could take this out, disconnect our actuator out here with our 20 square sockets, reach in and pull it out. Now this means we got to disconnect the glass, so we're going to have to get this window open here. Where's that tab? I don't see a tab. There we go. So with the window all the way down, I finally see what we have to do here. Thanks to Charles over to Humble Mechanic. If you can see way in there, that's our push. We need to push that pin out, both pieces. It's a two-part piece, but we need to push that through, and that'll release the glass upward. So there's no bolt involved on this one. So I took one of these. We got to get these wire connection pieces out anyway. Let's see if that position works for you guys. So be careful with these not to break them, because they're pretty unique. Just kind of get a pry up underneath of them and gently pull them out. And it will give you some more freedom to move this wire out of your way as you're getting this out. Come on. I'm trying not to break you. There we go. We're gonna have to disconnect all this anyway, but that'll give me some freedom in here to push on this plastic piece. This is like a pretty critical piece. Don't break. I don't like breaking. Come on, wiggle your way out of there. All right, that survived. And look at that bad boy. That's a different one, isn't it? I'm assuming, yeah, that because we're pulling the panel off. I'm assuming I gotta shoot these through, so oh, don't break. There we go. Okay, so that came out. So kind of prep that. Now it's back in that way. All right, so let's push with a screwdriver at first, and let me get some glasses on. Okay, so I'm gonna push on this on a great light, real gentle. I'm gonna have to spray that plug. Well, it moved. I got that out. It's a two-part piece, and then I have the outer one. I think it moved. Okay, that's out of the way, and he shows us a trick on how to install that, which we'll go over later. It's got some painter's tape here. Let's bring the glass up nice and slow. No rush. Don't want anything getting crazy on you. Put up to the top. It's staying for now. If you have an extra person, bring it over. got a decent amount of tension on it. Like everybody says, don't put duct tape on that. All right. So now that's out of the way. Glass is disconnected. Now we can disconnect all of our items. And then you got to be careful with these rods. We're going to carefully disconnect that off. And then we'll take our 10 mil bolts out all the way around. So let's work on prepping these. And as he was doing, you press these inward. Was what he was recommending. Here's the release on that bad boy. I see a tab up top. Doesn't really show me. I can't tell whether that's a pull or a push. Kind of looks like a push down with these tabs. Don't know. There's nothing on the back. There I can tell that wires back here. Okay, so we're taped up there, and now we're removing this connector, which from what I'm looking at, it looks like I just need to pull these tabs up a little bit. Get them over this. I don't want to break anything. There we go. Yeah, see that wiggling free. So you just kind of pull up on this outer tab here until it gets free. There's no real push and release on this, which is disappointing. Of course, it likes to grab itself again. So there we go. Finally. All right. So that's free. Okay, so our wire is pretty much free. Speaker. Oh, more speaker fun. This one obviously is easier because you can grab these ears back here and go straight up. Okay, that's inside, and I leave this on the door like that. I'm assuming. Yeah, I guess when I pull the panel off, I might have to keep all this together and sling it in the seat. This goes, I think, when I was doing what this was, sending this inside the old cable makes it easier. And I think with this traveler here too, but we need to get this off. So yeah, so it comes off there. There's a right angle hook on this. Can't really get that out of there. I don't want to break this. Kind of looks like it wasn't even in there right. Take a picture of this stuff before you do it to make sure you put everything back in the right spot. You would think that rod would go around this and not inside. Oh, I know why. They keep it inside so this doesn't fly out. Okay. Let's see if it has enough flex in it. I don't know. No, because it looks like you would want to rotate it more. So I'm going to play it safe. It's not going to be a pair of flat nose, I don't think, would it? That gets two. Yeah, flat nose works good. Yep, okay. Then you get that off. Then you rotate this 90. Then you pull it out. Okay. Leave that in a safe place. Rod is free. These two can stay there. I think they had removed those. But I don't think they go anywhere inside. I think they would just snap through. We'll find out in a minute. I think it comes out with it. So cables are free, disconnections are done, glass is held up. Let's go ahead and take out all our 10 millimeters. I didn't bring anything out here to work fast with, so I will speed this up for you. Okay, so I push this down a little more so I can see and get two hands on this. It's a push in tab here, and then it's down. So just push in that tab right there, and that'll release that. Okay, so let's see. Okay, cable goes through, our broken one. This can keep sliding down. It's kind of gooey. Come on, get through there, boot. Okay, and then what else is hanging on here? Oh, there's the wire. Okay, so let's just leave this and watch what hole that goes through. Obviously, that's the top hole, and I'm going to leave this right there because that's a pretty good place. All right, glass is fine. There's that hole that our pin was in that I pushed through. We're going to find it. Here it is. Look at that. There's that pin. Okay, and we will set that back in place. Do not lose it. That's critical. All right. This is our broken cable. Man, I don't see a way. I can pull it out, but I don't see that I'm gonna be able to disconnect it. You can't even see that hook in there. I know what it's going to, but I just don't see a way of. I don't want to do all this. Now I got to get to the latch on the door handle side. Take that. Yeah. Man, all of that because of that piece of plastic. So this is, you can trash this. This is like an alignment piece. You could leave it in if you want. If it's not in your way. I can't slide this sucker out. So it looks like I might as well pull this boot back through and fully get this door panel out of our way. And careful where you put it, because you're going to get some black goop from that gasket on something. You know, I always say, when I get stumped and it looks like I'm going to pry on something and break it, go to the manual. So this is the Bentley manual, and it looks like for this outer handle, I can't easily pop this cover off, but what they're saying is you pull the weather stripping off and you put in a T20 in there, and you unscrew that nut in there. Don't take it out all the way, and apparently it's going to give me room to get this outer handle off. Obviously I disconnected from releasing the pin here inside the handle. So yeah, let's give that a shot. All else fails, go to the book. So let's see. Oh yeah, so it's in here, and I'm loosening. Okay, let me try this other pry, because I think this thing's getting looser. Yeah, okay, I see movement. Now it's coming out. Okay, so this is from undoing that locking assembly, because obviously there's no lock back here, but it mimics what the front doors have. So what was holding it in place? I don't see. Was it? You always want to see how something works, so you know. That seems so low. Maybe it was sending. Yeah, okay. Maybe it was sending a rod or a piece of metal up into this groove, keeping this from coming out. Okay, well, that's good. So we got that out without breaking anything, and the cable is now fully disconnected. So now we can pull our last two triple squares out totally and get this thing out of here. Wow, there it goes. Okay. And there it is. And that, whoops, look how that was fed. How was that? Yeah, okay, went in behind it. All right. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't get this off. So now what do we do? Do we put the old one back on or the new one? It's a pain in the neck to get here. And it did act up before. Maybe we just put the new one on. Let's take a look. Okay, my answer is I'm gonna replace it. This could be a risk, but I'm gonna do it. So let's get this cable out. Just turn this sideways, slides right out, nice and easy. Put it on the new one, pull it out, slide it over, go that way, and the ribs obviously face out to grab the inner part of that handle. Let's see, go in sideways. Maybe it goes from the top. Goes in. Come on. It's not straight. Goes in. Turn it so that's in. And relax. Put this end in, and it's just all round, so it just pushes in straight down, looks like. Yep, straight down, looking good. Got that piece in. All right, let's feed it. Oh wait, our traveler. And this might have been one of our issues with that not holding well before, so maybe that'll help fix that. Still don't want to go. There it goes. Okay, so I think as I tighten this, it's going to pull that in. Let's try that. It's going to pull that handle in because it went out pretty far. Oh, that didn't work. Something fell in there. All right, so this is what fell out. So apparently these are the ears I was staring at inside of there. Our piece is still there, so I have to feed this from this side. I had to take the actuator back out, so we'll see if we can figure out how this goes in. All right, we're here in the next day. I had to stop and punt last night where I was with the situation. So where we last left off was the part that came flying into the door assembly as I was loosening the screw, going back and forth, and then you remember I was trying to put in this assembly, okay, at the same time with the handle, and I was trying to find that sweet spot to get this assembly to go in the hole. Had a lot of issues, and all of a sudden we heard ting 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 ting. Well, that was this piece of metal that went inside, and trying to figure out which way does this go, how does it get fed in, what part does it go in, how do I do it with very little finger space in here. I played with this thing for over an hour or so, and I finally just gave up. I was like, I gotta get this lock assembly off. The directions say be careful how you tighten too far or loosen too far, that this ring I forgot what they call it. I'll grab the manual in a minute. Will fall into the door assembly, just like that. So you just reach in and grab it, no big deal. But getting this thing back in here was really hard. So let me save you a lot of time. The easiest thing to do is pull off this whole assembly. So let's do that right now. Basically, you pull the handle out. Let me see if I get your view here good. You basically, per the directions, you just pull the handle forward this way, okay, and then you swing it out, because you're bringing out these tabs right there. You're bringing them out far enough, and you just pull it out. That's really all it is. So then you're left with a screw here, real simple. What is this, T20s? Yeah, it's 20. Take this screw out, loosen. Okay, and this whole inner assembly just slides straight out. So what I'll do is I'll reposition the camera for you to show you this, but let's see, it's kind of hard to see inside. It's so dark and crammed in there. So you pull that out, and then I'm just basically taking this assembly straight down. So there's the rail of the window guide is in there. So you just work it straight down. And you have to be careful because you got the spring on this piece here. So you just got to be careful with that. So you bring it straight down. And this is what it looks like. Okay, it's as simple as that. Nice aluminum frame. And then you sit here and you say, well, how does that part go in? Well, after looking at it, you see this slot. Okay, that slot's pretty critical because that's going to get this rib stays in that slot. So this is what you can't do, or at least I couldn't do while it was inside. With the wall is literally right here, so you have no way to, and this thing is constantly flapping in your way. So you have really no good way of manipulating this thing to get it where it needs to go. So basically, once you have it out, you just feed it in. You feed that edge in that side, and you'll see that there's some openings to take these ears straight down, and that's it, and it goes in there. So what happens, and this is what I want to mimic for you in this video, once it gets in there to the correct spot, it can spin around like that. That's how its movement is supposed to be. So you have stops here that grab it, okay, and you have these two ears here on the inside. So let's see how that works. Well, what happens is, as you're tightening this screw, this is the screw that you can see from here that you're tightening and loosening. So as you're moving this, and I'm going to insert this screw so that it's in the final position, and then we're going to grab that lock set and show you. I had to move the car because I got a lot more wind today. So I'm going to move this up because the head of this screw sits in this slot, and that's what's going to move it back and forth. So we're going to zing that in there. Okay, and we're going to experiment because they're talking about on some other videos they only go in 12 or 13 turns. So we're going to experiment while we see full view of what's going on with these ears. So as it stands now, these ears are off. And as we look at this lock assembly, this is how it would be on the outside with the fat side facing the handle, and it would be going in. Okay, and you can see how, let me get my eyes on so I can look with you. You see how these ears, top and bottom at the 12 and the 6, how they can go in and out? That's how you easily remove this piece. If you feel that it's too tight, that you're prying on something, well, something's wrong. It means that these ears are in more of a locked position. So let's turn the screw in. So we have the piece pushed into the door. We're mimicking taking our screw and we're moving it. So I'll try to hold this square to you out of the sun. So as I'm tightening it, you can see it's turning. Okay, those gold pieces, those gold ears under the ears that are on our, it's not really a lock because there's no lock in it, but it's basically doing the same thing that the lock assembly is doing. Okay, so we're turning it, and so that they fit over underneath of it. So you see it? So is this going in? Okay, and that's snug. So when that snug position gets there, and you're looking obviously through this hole, okay, your ears are on the other side of the brass piece. I cannot get this out, and that's what it's supposed to do. Okay, so now let's mimic how many turns it takes, because they say a lot of them on other websites and other videos do a good job of this, and they'll say, and the manual says be careful not to overturn, but they won't tell you the number. So let's see how many turns it takes to get it clear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whoops, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 12 turns. Can I get it out? Yes. Look at that. 12 turns gets it out. Nice and easy. Let's go. So if I went, that was 12. If I did 13, I'm still good. In and out of 13. So here's where you get into trouble. This is what happened to me. I'm looking at it on edge through the door at this view, and I can still see that piece of gold piece on the screw. You want to see the gold piece on the screw. I had mine disappearing. I thought, oh, I just have to make it disappear, and that's how I'm going to get it out. I was already past the point that would work. What happens with this, as you keep going, that's it, 13, 14, 15, you start adding some weird pressures in here, and it allows this piece to fly out of here, okay? Because your other piece is still in here. But what happens is, and I'm trying to mimic the action, this thing kind of comes out on an angle. Maybe the thing, oh, it was while it was out. That's what it was. It was while that was out, and I was trying to put it back in, and I had this screw too far out. And what happens was, here it is. See, it's starting to come out on an angle, and so it leaves its hold in that groove, and it flies out, and it goes just like that. And trying to get this thing in here, maybe you could, now that you know how it goes in there, maybe you could position your hand just right and get it to feed back in there. So let's put this back together. So we know that the screw has to be between these two, right? So we feed it through the back fin here, get it back in here. You see that opening and that opening, get it down, but you can see this is in the wrong place. Our screw's in the wrong place. So I'm going to pull the screw out. And if it came out in the door, you already have your inner panel out, no big deal. Just reach down and get it. All right, so we get it in. Let's get this thing there in so it can turn. Now, let's turn this groove out here so I can get the screw in there. Got to get that edge of our little, it's not really a bolt. I guess you could call it a bolt, not a screw. I don't know. Yeah, that's it. So you give it a little bit of help. A little bit of help so you work it so it can feed right in there. Just spin it. Once you get it in there, you're good, because now it'll help bring it in. So maybe this is the unique part of the video, that something I haven't seen anybody else have in there. So let's mimic our door piece going in. So this would be facing in this door like this. The fat piece of our lock set in there. And so if we look up, we can see there's just not quite going in. Those U's are in the way, right? So we want to go, I have it in too far. Bring it out. Let's see. Yes, I had the screw a little bit too far. Just bring it out, and that allows those ears to go past. So hopefully you can see that. I know it's a wide angle lens on this GoPro, but there you go. And that's it. I see why the sequencing of putting this back together in the right sequence is so critical. So what we're going to do, see these ears right here that obviously your handle is pulling on with the spring action, it's critical that these sit on the back side of these, okay? If it's floating around in there and it's like that, nothing's going to happen, okay? These ears have to go inside. So let's mimic. So the position of this wheel can inhibit that. What was happening is this is at the fully tightened position. You see how this can fully move in here? What was happening was when you put the lock set in, obviously in this position, it isn't going to go in because the ears are blocking. These gold ears are in the blocking position. So when you're putting the handle on, you need to have this in the closed position, tightened. That allows these ears to float, okay? So what's going to happen is, let's mimic this. This is installed. You're outside putting the handle in, okay? And you're putting this in through here. Okay, this goes in through there. All right, and then what's going to happen is this ear, okay, is held back by this window apparatus, so it's only going to be like sitting like here, okay? So what's going to happen is as you on the outside are going out, and you might have to pull to get this behind it. You see how that's behind it and it sits in like that? That's going to operate like it should, okay, with spring pressure. And then when you remove this handle on the outside, what's happening is you're pulling up, and they say to shift it back. Watch this. Boop. It's shifting out, okay, of that, and that allows you to pull the handle out. So that's the action going on in here. So if you're lost on why this handle is not working right, you need to get this in here. When you shove this handle in, you're shoving it forward like that, and this ear needs to be up. You might have to help it with a, you know, we'll see if we have to put a pick in to pull it, but it sets in there just right, okay? And then we're in the lock position, remember? Then we unlock it, take it out our 12 turns, shift this, then put this piece through this way. Then that'll go all the way in, okay? So there's an extra step in there they don't talk about, even in the manual, even in the service manual. I don't remember seeing that at all. So let's do this again. Well, I think we figured out now what really makes this fly out. It's when you're in the locked position, it can just spin out like that. It just flips right out. So you have to be careful. When what I was doing was I was putting a pick in, trying to grab this arm forward, and whatever I did, maybe I grabbed that and I pushed it right back out. So that is how easy this part flies out. So, and we know that in this position I need this free movement to get the handle under here. So is it that this is not tight enough? Well, I see what's going on. This thing bottoms out. The screw is bottomed out, but the bracket is loose, right? So if I had a few more threads, I could be pushing down on this a little bit. Maybe I back out one or two, and then these other ears prevent it from happening. Yeah, that's what it is. See, now your slots are off to the right. So, okay, so let's change our procedure up. So you don't put this in the fully tight position, okay, for the handle to go back in and all that, because we know it'll take your bracket out. So let's take it out enough that it prevents the bracket from flying, okay? So 1, 2, 3. Let's do 3. Yeah, I can't get it out, and I can move this freely. So that does it. So 3 times. So remember that. We have it backed up. Okay, we're going to talk about a corrected part of the video here, because I've had this ring fall off of me again while my daughter was using the car. So I was researching what I did wrong from the previous version, and what I found out was I forgot to back off this 3 turns from the stop. Right now it's in the stopped forward clockwise position all the way, screws bottomed out. And what you need to do at the very end of this is back it off 3 rotations. Okay, so there's 3, and we'll show you why. So if we go back to, say, 12 opens it so that you can put your piece in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so we're mimicking being installed in the door. So that side here goes towards the hinge side of the door. Okay, so you're putting it in. You see how they clear our green ears there, right? And then we would put that in, and then we would crank it down. I'm going to say 9 from here because that leaves it off 3, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And there you have it. So there's play here because of the door and stuff, but you can see that those ears are trapped. And now something I'm not liking is that I still have an opening here. See, those are still in that opening. I don't like that. I want part of that metal to be underneath of these. So let's go back to full shut. Maybe we have to back it off from there. There's full shut. We have, see how it can still sneak out? This is where I screwed up before. So we don't want that. We want this. Come on, get under there. There we go. We want to back it off. So maybe it's, let's see how many turns we'll need it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's starting to get under the other ring. The only problem is that these are, they're still there. It's probably going to grab it. But the good news is that here and here, the ring is grabbing those pieces, right? Still not liking the spacing between those ears. It doesn't seem like they're really tucked under that enough. But they don't seem worn. Maybe I need to bend them up a hair to grab better. So that's our point. We need to back it off that much so it grabs here, here, and here. You see that little lobe right in there? That's underneath that. So that's important also. So if we were to see how many from this 5 to get it to open, let's see, that was 5. To fully pull the piece out, let's go back to 12, see if that works. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That opens. This is fully closed. Yeah, and we can pull it out. See that? Comes right out. It's a crazy contraption, but I think it just takes a while to figure out how this thing operates. Now in this position of 12, see how this piece is blocking this ear from going in? So let's imagine we're putting this in the door That's our next step, obviously. And remember how we have to pull these ears back to get the handle up under. Okay, well, it's really close to that. Okay, I'm going to try that. I'm going to try it at 12. But if it does hit like that, just move it a little bit more the other way, and to get that to clear, to pull that in. All right, so I think that explains a little better than I had in the first video. Now let's put this back in. So we left our piece at the 12 turn section where we could slide the mating door latch piece in. Let's try this. I'm going to install it and insert it inside of the other video pieces that I have. One thing that fell out last time that I forgot to install, I don't know how important it is this little, I guess it's a gasket. It's got a couple ears on it. I don't know how important that is. The hole, just so you see it, mates this hole in the back. So let's see if it goes in the door like that. It's going to look like, let's see, let's get this on right. It's going to look like that when it's installed. See how it fits over that. So anyway, I'm going to make sure that's back on this time. Made any difference or not. It looks like it easily falls down. So we're taking our piece, we're going to put it up in here inside the door and get, you have to hold the ears down to get it by that window slide piece, and there it goes. I'm going to grab that gasket, just put that in and bring it up here. Okay, so I have it close to position. So let's see if we can slide this in now. Yeah, and the ears are in. So kind of bring this up while you're holding your little gasket. And remember our two ears here, right? We bring them forward. So the whole housing, and it goes over its own gasket. Everything wants to move higher. There. Over the rubber, or the plastic, whatever that is. There's, those ears are in. These ears are almost there, and it fell. Yes. A place I can grab it. I don't have to play hunt the gasket. So let's give this a little gentle nudging. Get in there. Why do they do stuff like this? I guess you could put a little goop on there and kind of tape it. It's like, really? We have to make this a jigsaw puzzle. I was thinking about that whole mechanism and what does that mimic, and it's actually like a tavern puzzle. You know, the way all those slots go around. It's crazy. What was somebody smoking when they made that design? I don't know. Okay, we're almost there. All right, I'm there. Ready for the little screw with the tiniest of torques. It's the same size as the end one. What size is that? 15. T15. So I'm keeping pressure forward. Keep these ears over. I'm going to tighten that down. Not crazy. It's good and snug. Okay, our piece moves. It still moves. Good. All right, now let's get our actuator in. Remember our cable piece to make it accessible as best you can. And as I just noticed, my rod had fallen off. of this. So I'm going to reinsert the rod. There we go, where that belongs. Because that is impossible pretty much when this is in here. And this is one of those deals where you just have to kind of finagle everything. And you hope that that cable is where you dropped it as you bring it backwards towards your landing spots. So it's close. Let's see where that cable is. Ooh, I think I can get it. Put your needle nose in there. Got it. Oh, I'm missing a step, aren't I? I gotta put the handle on. Edit time. Cut. Okay, so the next step is to put the handle on. Okay, let's go in there. Remember, pinch your little gasket inside your hand grab there. Okay, pull it back a little bit so that you can, let's see, push forward, bring it back so I get these pieces in, tuck them behind our piece, got it in, good. Okay, and then make sure it's nice and forward, which it is. Now we're ready for the door actuator. Looks good in there. Get it right side up. Cable looking towards us. Tuck it in. Of course, it wants to grab everything. And wiggle it till it gets into the position where you see that lock. And you can see the threads. And I can still see the cable. Let's go grab it gently. I should have brought a hook. My little hooks. And if I can't get this in a second, I will go get the hooks. Oh, got it. Okay. Let's tuck it in our position before I lose it again. Into our handle here. Come on, get in there. There we go. All right. And our locks, line up your threads, get them close. Okay, get these two. All right, so we got to remember that that is at the number 12, right? So we're here tightening up our Torx. It's in between notches on the door swing. Just kind of put these in. I'm sure there's a little bit of self-aligning here. Feels good. Wrench it on, give it a little tightening. Okay. This is it. We're not going back again, right? All right. Good. Tight. Got everything in here. Okay. Now, let's put our piece in. No more distractions, right? Should go straight in because we're at 12. It does. Now, let's hope that when we back it all the way down and then back, I might not subtract the 9. I think I'll just go all the way back to the stop position. But we'll count them down anyway just to be sure it's kind of where we are. Have our logo up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It was there. Okay, so let's back it off 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I put some blue Loctite on that thread to kind of give it some resistance to this thing. I don't know if it would be twisting or spinning out of position. It shouldn't. All right, it's in there. I can't get it out. Let's hope that's it. Okay, now to put the rest of the door back together, which I'll probably just continue from the other video. I did do a close-up of the Fang installation just a few minutes ago, and I'll insert it in there so you get a better look at that, because my hands were behind it last time and I wasn't giving you a good view. So all right, let's head back to the original video and put our door panel back on. All right, so let's not forget about this. This is our piece that goes in to the window opening here. Very carefully, I'm going to wiggle it till the big piece goes in. I don't know that my fingers can do this. I think it expands it a little bit, because there's no real stop. There's no real stop on it. So let's go get a pair of careful pliers to push that in without grabbing this glass. So I've got a pair. These are some cobalts, so that's a low cell. It's got some rubber, nice flat rubber section, and it gives it a nice straight pull, okay, before it goes into tightening mode like that, but it's nice and straight. So let's try that on the, so I'm just going to try to squeeze this on a nice angle. Obviously I'm not touching this bottom glass at all until this goes in. Okay, that did it. So the part's in there. I hope it's enough. It looks like it's halfway each side. Okay, and then so as you lower that into, as you lower this down, it's going to snap in that receiver. You get one little pull and it goes past that, the ears, and it snaps in. So that's what we're looking for. I'm going to put some of these gloves on so I don't get some of this black mastic on me. So we're at the stage now where we're going to put this inner panel on. So I got to feed the I have to feed, obviously this is for the wire that gets connected. This is going to be for this long cable that goes through it though. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to feed the cable through it like this, so that at least gets fed. Okay, and then I'm going to put, no, wrong one. Wrong one. It's way back here. It's way up here. It goes through that one. All right. Well, that's not tricky, is it? I guess I got to put it inside, maybe over here. Feed it all the way. Don't get any of this black stuff on your seats. Be careful there. Feed it through. Yeah, there we go. There we go. And then this goes under and then through that way. Yeah, we're talking. Okay. So the boot would feed through. This feeds through on that one. Okay. But now we got to connect our electrical connector. So we stay loose but in control. Figure out which hand you want to grab your connector. bring it up without bending everything. Get it the right direction. And hear a click, and that's good sound. Okay, this boot will come through that. This cable boot will go through that. Okay, and then you're ready to swing it over. Now, obviously we have this to put through. Let's pull our boot through. And I haven't bolted any of this panel in yet, you can tell. So I can grab back here if I need to push things in. I think it's kind of important because I think there's a wire grommet off of this I want to snap through here. Let's see if I can feel it. Oh yeah, there you go. That's important because you got glass sliding back there, so you want to make sure these things get in the right place. This is for, obviously this is our new cable for the lock mechanism to pull. Well, not a lot of play with those things, is there? All right, it's through. Okay, so then this would go in for this one. Good. Okay. Glass can go down in a second. Always helps to take pictures before you start the jobs. I was just looking at an old picture of how this was routed with the cable to make sure I got things in the right spot. So this went in here, this went in here, this obviously is here. Okay, I had a broken one somewhere in here. It wasn't that one. This one's okay. It's not in great shape, but it's okay. That should work. Okay, so this cable went up there. Obviously these go up top. This is for the light. Speaker can go in here. Obviously I'm doing this before I bolt everything in. I know I'm close. Okay, leave that so I can inspect. I might replace that one. It's kind of taped in there. What a pain. It's hanging on. Okay, so let's go ahead and put our main plug in. I feel confident we're good here. No real click. It's in. Get some tugs. It's in. Okay, I don't think I forgot anything. This was important to get that in. These were the old alignment pieces. They're gone. This cable. You know something? That had a snap on it too. It's right there. Let's see if we can reach that. They didn't put that. They did not put that on the new one. I had it on the old one, but it's definitely not back here. And it is removable. You know what? It slid right off the old one. So let's try to do this without dropping it. Slide it on the cable. No droppy. Turn it. Pull it. Is it going backwards? Let's see. It's kind of directional. Let's get the notch the other way, of course. Take it back off. Put it down from the top. That's got the right notch in the right place. Push it through. So that holds that. Okay, so that's just a tip for that one. This is in this connector. Okay, and then this snaps in. Okay, that's good. All right, so I think we're good. I thought I had another one of these that broke off, but I don't think. I'm gonna put that in there. All right, let's bolt this up. Let's get our number 10 set up. And I'll speed this part up so you guys don't have to wait for all these to go in. And then we'll lower. Maybe we should put a few in and lower our window down so we don't have to undo all this if something goes wrong with that. That's probably a good idea because it doesn't really bother the panel. Okay, so let's snap our window in. Raise this up a little bit. All right. So, holding the glass. You stand up. Okay. Get off there. There you go. Some residual. All right. Now, let's bring our glass down. Nice and easy. No surprises. Okay. Let's get a light in there. So get a good eye of what this looks like. Okay, glass is starting to come down good. I see it. It's going in there. You'll see it coming down. And the alignment looks pretty good. But you do want to watch it to make sure that that plastic piece is heading in the right spot to that circle. It looks pretty good. Okay, that's a good sound. It's in there. Fed it in the circle. So glass is in. We can continue. All right. Okay, inner panel gets these, gets those. This is for our light. I had this break on me. What hole did that go in? This was definitely to that one. I got that one covered. Oh, I see, it's over here. It's on this one. So let's go find, we know our glass is good, so I can close that up. Let's go find our supply of these, see if I find something that fits. All right, well, let's give these a shot. I have a few of these from a previous job. These snap in real nice, and the hole looks just about right. It might be too big. Let's see. No, it might be too small. Try to give it a little bit of persuasion. Where's my flat? Use the flat heads. I'm getting less trouble with these. I didn't hear a snap, but it's actually in there. Okay, that worked. So I'm gonna spin it around for the direction I need to grab the cable, go under, and I'll put my glasses on. Wait, know if that's the right side or not. Yep, it is. Good. Click is a good thing. So if I spun it, obviously that's going that other way, but it's got the cable. That's all that matters. Find some cutters. Okay, that's in there. It's not going anywhere. Should I change this one? That's pretty sad. It's a different style, but I could cut it out of there. Yeah, it's wasted. Let's cut that thing out of there without cutting our cable. This is one of those tape jobs where they factory wind it around a piece of plastic. Let's figure out whether we really deal with the tape or we just kind of cut it out of there. I think I'm just going to cut this. It'll seem like this is probably the easiest way to deal with this one. Of course, they put a hook up here on this. You can't slide it through. Carefully cut this hook off. Okay, slide. Come on, tape. Oh, come on, what are you hanging on to now? It's just tape. If I found the end of the tape, I could just unwind it, but that's not obvious. I could snip if I trust myself with scissors. Let's try it carefully. All right, got a little something to unwrap, and that's gone. There we go. Okay, so that part's out. That's all that matters. Leave that taped in there. Sticky enough. Just wrap it right back. We'll go get one of our other ones. Put that on. If anybody was wondering where I got this from, here in the States. This is a store we have called Napa, and this is an 8-inch standard duty mount. So yeah, so this seems to be working pretty good. So we'll use it on this one. Push this in. There we go. That clicked in there good. Nice strong hold. I know there's others that have those little Christmas tree style or bushes of ribs on them. The ribs, they don't always stay in. They work sometimes when you need them, but they're not always the best. All right, that's all good. We're all good up here. Now we'll bolt the rest of this in, and then we'll put our cover on. Well, that's freaking hilarious. I'm looking around for this bolt and I'm realizing that it's the same threads as these two that go in on the handle here and here. I put my bolt in the wrong one. That's great. Imagine that. What are the odds? Same threads. It's the little things that drives us nuts. Oh my gosh, that's funny. Okay, going around the horn here. And like I said, I had already checked for the operation, but just to show you, it's a good idea to do it before you button everything down. Make sure something's not forgotten. So, window, watch it go up and down nice. Make sure it stays connected good. Give it a couple stops. Okay, and then for your locking, it's going down, coming up, coming up. Very good. Okay. So we're looking good there. Now, all right, so we're tight. Got all our pieces in the right spot. Wires run the correct way. See that way that rubs on that wire? I wonder if that was my problem before of this thing kind of giving it too much friction as it goes. It feels sticky, you know, and they use a lot of sticky wrap in their wire. That might be better as that wraps around. It's not rubbing so bad. Maybe that was preventing it from going up and down easily with too much pressure on this. Alright, so yeah, I noticed I had a couple broken door clips. I had bought a bunch of these, put them in a bag a while ago. Always good to have these things handy. Really snap in, does it? Just kind of slips in. Yeah, just kind of slips in there. So that's a broken one. Here's a broken one. Nice new one over here. Okay, here's one that broke. I had three. You got to pull out what was left in your door, obviously. Okay, what about this side over here? I think the whole holder broke over here at the top side, so hopefully that'll be okay with the, this one's partially broken, but you know, I'd have to get this whole styrofoam piece out to pull that one out. What a pain in the neck. Why did they point it that way? I mean, I literally can't even pull that out. How's this styrofoam held in there? Oh, that's just maybe that's just a vertical slip out. Yeah, there we go. Just remember, it's always bolted together somehow. So unless that sucker's glued on there, I'm gonna change that one too. Why not? Give it a fresh one to bite on there. So yeah, it's just gonna get bolted right back together. So they built it fast, so whoops, I'm breaking. Looks like that goes in under it. Okay. We're breaking the foam. There we go. Yeah, now that's in there. Okay, so fresh clips where we need them. Okay, let's try to get a close-up shot of how to connect this cable. So I have the door trim off, so you obviously push your loop through first, then you pull back on the cable, get it through the slot, okay, and then this piece right here, okay, needs to go in that tube behind it. So you pull it back, you're getting the tube in there, and then the fangs will come around this edge and lock in just like that. Okay, that's the final position. So this is how it operates. This stays nice and still, and obviously your handle's pulling the cable. Let's put on our cable. So I know I'm not giving you a good view of this, so I apologize. Grab your handle so you have control of this. Slip your cable through first, because you'll need a lot of movement for this. Put your head through the windows, pull your glass down a little bit. Pull the cable back, put it through the slot, and then you push the snap forward, those claws. So you hook it, pull the cable back, make the cable go through the slot, and then you bring over that claw piece forward till it snaps. Okay, tweeter. Oh, those are a pain in the neck, but they're easy to put back. Door control switch. We'll make sure that works before we snap all this in. Okay, light. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna put that in and snap it. And I have that cover to put on it. What's that black cover? There it is. Get your arm down. Put the cover on it. Apologize, you can't see this. Okay, and the cover needs to go on so it's actually in there. It doesn't. There we go. Now it's snapped. Okay, so we're all looking good. Our new connectors are in there. That one may have been fed wrong. I see one that looks like it's sticking up too far. There's a couple. Yeah, that's better. Get this side. Yeah, there was a couple of ways you could screw up and put those connectors on. So put your indicator through here. Okay, now I'm just sitting here for a second. Maybe what we'll do, we'll just get it so we can hold it. So I want to test this window switch. Okay, so switch works. So let's put it back on. Okay, now we're looking good. I had stuff in my way. I had the old connectors still left in the door panel. Make sure you pull all that out. Okay, let's get her right through that. Good. Okay, be right there. Okay, get over here. It's not in the right slot. It's over further than you think. It's closer to the glass. And you'll feel it. There it is. And you get it in the right spot. Okay. Good. Push it in. Okay. And they're all in. Okay. All right, we're almost there. Get our door screws in, the Phillips. And I just heard the dinner call. So our timing is good. We almost ran out of daylight on you. So this is better than using a headlamp. Oh, come on, screw. Okay. And before I put on that finicky trim, I'm going to put on Torx that if I screwed up earlier and called this a T20, it's a, I mean a T25, it's a T20 at the bottom. It still runs, so that's connected. Okay, I need to crank it. And last but not least, our mangled up trim. It's just going to go straight on, and hopefully it stays together. Yes. All right. And we are done. So hopefully all that fun helps you out. Helps you save some time. Let's make sure, let's do a test for you. Make sure it works. Here's our first functional test. Door shut, locked good, pulled open, back in business. So we're good to go. All right, well, thanks for watching. Hopefully this will help you with some other steps in there that may not be a part of what you're originally looking for. But I think that having the uniqueness of that inner door part falling out on me, I didn't see that covered elsewhere on the internet. So maybe this will help you out. All right, best of luck to you.